Good day, people. Hope this message finds you well. I'm doing great. Today's message is on the no contact rule. We're going to talk about what it is, what it does for the victim, and what it does to the narcissist. But before we go any further, I'd like to take a moment to say hello and welcome to all of you. If you're new here, I go by the name Inspired Seeker, and on this channel, we discuss spirituality, personal development, and narcissism. So if any of that appeals to you, or if you call to, then by all means join us, and I promise you, you will not regret that decision. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the no contact rule, what it is, what it does for the victim, and what it does to the narcissist. First, what is the no contact rule? I did some research, guys, okay? And this is coming from choosingtherapy.com. Again, choosingtherapy.com. And they define the no contact rule as a tactic for ending a toxic relationship in which you cease any further engagement with the other person. This includes in-person engagements, phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, and other third-party communication. In layman's terms, it means completely cut off, right? That's what it boils down to. Total shutdown, completely cut off, no contact, no in-person meetings, no phone calls, no texting, no emailing, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right? You go your way, I go my way. This is not working out. You're toxic. You're abusing me, and I don't like that. I'm going my way. You go your way. And that's it. We're done. Okay, so that's typically what it is in layman's terms. Now that we know what the no contact rule is, let's look at what it does for the victim. Okay, no contact is typically used in narcissistic relationships. Okay, it's typically used in ending toxic relationships and narcissistic relationships. Okay, and this is when the victim decides to go away, right? To walk away from the relationship and absolutely wants nothing to do with the toxic individual. They want to go their way and move on with their life. Okay. So what does this do for the victim? Okay. For the victim who is actually using this rule, right? That's typically who uses the rule is the victim, right? For them, the rule affords them the freedom and the time to heal themselves, okay? To come to terms with whatever the toxicity and the abuse they were exposed to, right? And then prevent themselves from being subjected to further abuse or further toxicity from the abusive individual. Okay, so it gives them the time to deal with their emotions, huh? It gives them the time to deal with their trauma, right? Without interruption from the toxic individual, right? And it gives them the time to heal, to recover from that whole situation and get their life back on track, recreate their life essentially, okay? So that's what it does for the victim, okay? They have absolutely nothing coming from the toxic person, right? And so they're able to move away if possible and begin creating their life in a different environment, right? With different people around them, different support network and whatnot, right? So they can focus on recovering and getting their life back on track, okay? Now let's go to the main points of the video, guys. What does it do to the narcissist? What does it do to the toxic person? Okay. The first point is no access. Okay. No access at all. Absolutely no access. And by no access, I mean the toxic individual has no access to the to the victim for a period of time, right? While the no contact is in effect, the toxic person has no access to the victim for that period of time. Or in some cases, it could be indefinitely, okay? It could be forever, okay? Maybe the victim don't want absolutely nothing to do with them at all, okay? So they move on completely with their life. So in those instances, it will be no access for the rest of their lives, right? So that's the first thing it does, right? A toxic person or a narcissist, as we know, when you discard them or when they discard you, they typically come back to hoover you, okay? They typically come back to test the waters and attempt to drag you back into the relationship, all right? But what this does is it takes away that, okay? It takes away that opportunity for the narcissist to think they could come back and hoover you. Okay, so absolutely no access at all for a period of time or indefinitely in some cases. Point number 2 is no attempts at hoover. Okay, and this is piggyback off point number 1. When you take away the access now, you're essentially taking away any attempts at hoovering you. Okay, without them being able to contact you, without them being able to see you or speak with you or engage with you in any way, shape, or form, it takes away any attempts at a hoover. Okay, no access means no hoover. Okay, if they can't see you or communicate with you or get to you, how are they gonna hoover you, right? This is why the no contact rule is a powerful tool when it comes to getting away from a toxic person or getting away from a narcissist. Okay, it's very powerful if you do it right. All right, because oftentimes what we do, some of us do, is that we can't follow our own rule. Okay, this is where some of us end up getting hoovered back into the relationship. We put this rule in place, but then we break it on our own. Okay, we end up going to check social media, or we end up going to text them to see how they're doing on their birthday or something crazy like that, right? Calling them on Christmas to say Merry Christmas and all of that, right? And this is essentially opening the doorway for them to be able to hoover you back in. You understand? This is essentially opening the doorway and allowing them the opportunity to get back to you. Okay, so if done right, it's very effective. If no contact is done right, it's very, very effective against toxicity, against any toxic person. All right, you want to restrict all access, absolutely zero communication, delete your social media or block them. Whatever it is that you have to do, you want absolutely nothing to do with them. All right, and you stand on that. You don't break that, and you don't allow them to break that. Okay, so essentially it's like a boundary you're putting in place. Okay, point number 3 is mental torture. All right, mental torture. When it comes to a narcissist, they have a way of operating, right? They have a special way how they operate. When you go no contact on a narcissist, you torturing them mentally because they will think about you nonstop. Okay, they will think about you. They will wonder what happened, what caused you to act that way, what caused you to block them, what caused you to leave them. So this is essentially a mental torture because they will always think about you. All right. And not just that, they will also be thinking about what you're doing, what you're up to, who you're with, who you're dating. If it was a romantic relationship, they'll be wondering who you're dating now, what kind of car you're driving now, where you're staying now, you know, what kind of life are you living now, all of those things. Okay, so a narcissist will think about these things nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. All right, the more they miss you, the more time that pass, the more they miss you, the more they will think about these things. Okay, and so it will drive them crazy knowing that they're thinking about you so much, but then also they have no way to contact you, or they have absolutely no access to you. Okay, so it will drive them crazy. This is why I call this mental torture. All right, because it will mess with them. Okay, they will think about you constantly, 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 constantly. All right, I wonder if they're doing good. I wonder who their new partner is. I wonder who they're hanging out with. I wonder where they're living now. I wonder what they're driving. I wonder where they're going on vacation. All of those things. Narcissists will just create these things in their heads. All right, and think about it constantly. All right, so that's number 3, mental torture. The last and final point is that they'll look for you in others. Okay, they will look for you in others. When you move on from a narcissist, when you discard a narcissist, essentially, one thing that it does is that it burns them deep down inside. Okay, you leave them with a massive, massive injury. Okay, a huge narcissistic injury. All right, a very massive wound that you leave within them. Okay, so the first thing they want to do is cover up this wound. Okay, so this is why they would run off and jump into a rebound type situation. Okay, they will go and get with someone just so they don't feel the pain from this wound, from this narcissistic injury. Okay, so here now, they will look for you in others. Okay, that everybody that they meet, should it be a romantic relationship, every new partner that they meet, they will try to shape them or mold them into who you were. Okay, they would want them to treat them like you used to treat them. Okay, so in some situations, they may even start dressing them like how you used to dress. They may start taking them to the same restaurants you used to take them. They may start taking them to the same vacation spots you used to take them. All right. Essentially, what they're doing is that they miss you so much that they're trying to recreate you in others. Okay. They're looking for you in others because now they know that no matter what it is that they do, they can never have you back. They will never get you back. Okay. And so anybody that they meet from here now, or anybody that they date from here now, they're going to try to mold them into who you were or what you used to do for them. Okay. They're going to kind of get them to mimic that. Okay. So that's the 4th thing that the no contact rule does to a narcissist. Okay. Because deep down, they know you were the best thing that ever happened to them. You were the best that they ever had, and they should have made it work. And the fact that they couldn't make it work and you stepped away from them, you discarded them, it kills them. It left them with a massive wound, and they have to do something about it because they cannot hold that. Okay, so they will run and get with somebody quick to cover up this wound. Okay, but then from there, anybody that they date after that, they're going to try to recreate you. Okay, they're going to try to mold them to become like you. Okay, so this is what I mean by they look for you in others. All right, so That's the no contact rule, guys. When you seize all communication, all access from the toxic person, that you leave them absolutely no room to even think that they still have anything with you. And we went over what it does for the victim, and also 4 things that it does to the narcissist. So if you found value in here, then stick around, because there should be another video or playlist popping up to my left or right. Stick around and get more information on narcissists and toxic individuals. All right. So I'm going to leave this here. Until next time, happy Friday, and peace, love, and more life.